Welcome to the Beachwood Business Compass podcast. I'm Kathy Biederman, Economic Development Director for the City of Beachwood. This podcast is an opportunity for us to connect local businesses with the insights, tools, and opportunities that are here to assist in their growth. Did you know that Chambers of Commerce originated in France in 1599? They were built as a network to enable business owners to connect. Joining me today is David Lapierre, Director of the Beachwood Area Chamber of Commerce, and Scott Morrison, a longtime member of the Chamber of Commerce. Thank you both for joining us today. So we're here to talk about chambers, and I've been with chambers for a number of years, over 20 years I've been involved with Chambers of Commerce, and I know that both of you have been involved for quite some time as well. David, you're now the Director of the Chamber of Commerce. Scott, you've been with the Chamber for over 20 years.
That's correct.
Wonderful. And tell me, what is a Chamber of Commerce? What is your mission?
Well, good morning, Kathy, and thank you for inviting us here. The Chamber of Commerce really is about networking. It's about putting businesses together so they know each other, they can work with each other, they can buy from each other. So it's really connection. It's really what the Chamber of Commerce is all about.
Yes. And I have found that there are some amazing connections that are made within your networking opportunities. In fact, just this last year, we had a networking event where two manufacturing companies came together, didn't know each other, but were in the same neighborhood, made a connection, and immediately started doing business together. It's those kind of opportunities that I think really drive the chamber's success. Am I right? Yeah,
it's totally right. And again, any chamber, no matter where they are in the U.S., will have a variety of members within the chamber. So we have in Beachwood here, we're fortunate we have a really good variety of members. And by that, I mean, we have a lot of medical companies here. We have a lot of legal professions here. We have a lot of accounting firms here in Beachwood. So the idea for the chamber is to get them together so that they can work with each other, get to know each other, help each other, share customers if it makes sense to do that. As an example, an accounting firm and a legal firm will get together and share customers. We have a payroll company that's part of the chamber. So in many cases, an accounting firm will work with a payroll company and share customers. So that's the really cool part about being in the chamber.
Absolutely. And I always tell people when they're exploring chamber membership that there's a lot more to just signing the check and joining the Chamber of Commerce. The fees are nominal. It's less than what you would pay in an ad in a magazine. But ultimately, you can gain so much out of a chamber, but you've got to put a little effort into it as well. And I think it's interesting because when I see chamber members that get involved, they get involved with committees, they get involved with some specific unique groups that are gathering through the chamber, or even as a board member like you are, Scott. In those situations, they can develop some really meaningful lifelong relationships. Am I right?
Yeah, totally correct. And Scott can probably speak to this, maybe even better than I, because he's been with the chamber, like you mentioned, for so many years. But we again, putting people together is key for us. And being engaged with the chamber is also key. Like, I totally agree with you, Kathy, that you can pay the check and it is a nominal amount every year as the dues, but you need to be engaged. If you just sit back and don't engage with the committees, don't come to some of our networking events, the chamber is just not going to work for you. So I tell people that right up front. You need to engage, be active. If you can't come, maybe send one of your employees or a couple of your employees. As an example, we have a young professionals group that we're just starting to really catch some energy with that. And if you have a company and you can't make it, send some of your young professionals to the events and let them engage with the chamber.
Absolutely. In fact, I find that even some of our top Fortune 500 companies are really gathering around this young professionals group because it's giving their young employees that are growing through the company an opportunity to really get out there and network in the community and build those skills that they need to continue to advance within the workplace. And Scott, tell me a little bit more about your role as a chamber member and maybe as a board member. How has that led to you being able to develop your business? Because I know today, every time we have a grand opening and every time we have something happening in the city, you're the one that's there. So how does that connection, how has that helped you to grow?
Well, I've been a photographer for 33 years and I've been with the chamber for more than 20. And ever since then, I've worked with the chamber, worked with the city and the school, and kind of work together with them. And the city is also, they've been a great supporter of us and me, and just a lot of, networking together. And we also have a big education part that we give to our customers, not only, with the networking, but at our networking events, we usually have speakers. Just recently, we had the FBI come and they talked about cybersecurity. It was amazing. I learned a lot. They scared the crap out of us, but it was very educational, and it that's something that we also offer.
That's a good point. I have found that the luncheons that you host, the after hours that you host, you're bringing key speakers to the table that we normally would not have the opportunity to get in front of. And what was unique about that cybersecurity program was that there was a local technology company there as well, and they were a member of the chamber. So the people who attended that, the business representatives that attended that, got a lot out of hearing and understanding the complexities of what businesses are challenged with today related to cybersecurity. But then we're able to follow up with a local member to really make sure that they were able to address their needs for their business, and secure their ability to continue to move forward. Now, I know that the Chamber of Commerce also has a number of resources that they're able to offer members. Sometimes those might even be discounts or other services that are benefits to chamber members. Is that correct?
Yeah, Kathy, thank you. Yeah, we do. If you're a member of the Beachwood Chamber of Commerce, you're also a member of what's called NOAC, which is the Northeast Ohio Area Chambers of Commerce, which is a bigger, larger group. And that particular group kind of manages the benefits for all chamber members. As an example, if you're a member of our chamber, you have access to Anthem Blue Cross healthcare plans. Mm-hmm. You have access to a chamber energy program where they'll come in and do an audit of your business, and you can see if you can save some energy, save money on electricity and gas. You have discounts to FedEx, Federal Express. We have a payroll company that's attached to the benefits, and if you're a member there, you would get discounted payroll services, and then also ProMedica, which is a medical management company service that's provided. So you also can take advantage of all of these. But you have to be a chamber member to take advantage of all these benefits. And
I know just in my past experience, I have seen companies join the chamber just for those healthcare benefits. In fact, I often work with a representative that's here in the city that sells healthcare insurance. And many times businesses are coming directly to them looking for the opportunities to engage in the savings that's there with the Anthem Blue Cross. And it was Anthem program.
Right, correct.
Yes.
Yeah, actually a lot of people, like you mentioned, will join for the Anthem benefits, but then once they get involved, once they see all the other networking events and different lunches and different coffee hours that we have, then hopefully they start to be engaged with some of those. And that's really where the key is. That's really what drives the chamber, is the networking events.
Absolutely. And then you also have some annual events that you do as well, correct?
We do. In 2024, for instance, we had a couple of larger events that we had, but the biggest one was the Business to Business Expo that we had in October of this year. And what that was is we invited chamber members and non-chamber members to come and be part of the expo. And it was the idea was to get them all in the same room. And have them start to meet with each other, talk with each other, work with each other, look at the opportunities to work together. In addition to that, at the B2B Expo, we also had a Women's Entrepreneur Summit where we invited several leading women in the community to come in and talk about their professions. For instance, we had a couple of lawyers come in and talk about business law. We had a consulting company come in and talk about what can a consultant do for you and your business. So those are the kind of things that we like to do. And I think Scott mentioned earlier the education part, we take that seriously, and we're always trying to expand on that.
Mm-hmm. And I think the board of directors has even been engaged with those events and the planning of those events, and they've kind of structured their plans for the coming year, right?
Yep, absolutely. We have 12 events planned. We're going to do one every month, and we're trying to have a diverse timing this year so that we could have some breakfast, some lunch, and some after hours events, so that people that couldn't make it after hours couldn't make the breakfast, they could make a luncheon. So we're trying to relate to as many people as we can by having first off, a diverse, group of events, and then having them at different times during the day.
Yeah, and that flexibility is important today. I think to be able to catch it at different times for business owners is a wonderful thing.
And we're trying something else, Scott, this year too. We've decided to make the events on a regular basis. So, for instance, on the second Thursday of every month, will be a meeting of the Women of the Beachwood Chamber coffee hour. So it's going to be the same time. It's 8:30 to 9:30. It's the second Thursday of every month. And then we're going to try our other coffee hours and other networking events on the third Wednesday of every month. So the third Wednesday every month will be either a coffee hour for the entire chamber, it could be a luncheon, or it could be an after hours event. So we're going to try and make the second Thursday of every month and the third Wednesday of every month steady times for our networking events.
That's fantastic. Right. And how many members are members of the chamber now?
Yeah, good question. It changes, but as of the last week, we had about 336 active members.
That is incredible. 300 members. That's absolutely fantastic. And I give you kudos. I know being involved in the membership committee, you have brought on 50 new members this past year, which is exceptional. And those members are really engaged. They're coming out to events, they're connecting with other business owners. What do you find are some of the highlights that chamber members provide you, saying that this is where I really got benefit out of the chamber?
Well, I think for me in 2024, we actually had 57 members, to be correct, Kathy, as new members. So let's get that straight. No, in all seriousness, I think for me, the cool thing is in 2024, we had a lot of new members engage coming to our networking events, but also had quite a few new members joining our committees, which means that we're starting to touch people that maybe hadn't been engaged before, but have noticed what we're doing as a chamber and are interested and want to be involved and want to participate and, quite frankly, want to meet with other chamber members. And that's really what we're all about, is getting more people involved.
And what are some of those committees?
We have several committees, but we have the more important ones right now for us are the membership committee is really important. We have, of course, the executive board, which we meet every couple of weeks via phone call, just to talk about the day-to-day activities of the chamber. We have an event committee this year. So we are deep in our planning of the 2025 events for this year. And I think Scott mentioned we're going to have at least two every month.
Correct.
In addition, we'll have the young professionals will be once per quarter in 2025. So we have that going on. So we do have a young professionals committee, which we would invite anybody listening, if they are under 40, that's our parameter for being a young professional is under 40 years old. If you're interested, please get a hold of us, and we'd love to have you on the committee.
Wonderful. And then share with me just a little bit more about what you think you could generate in terms of new opportunities for businesses when they come and engage with the chamber. You are connecting them. You're bringing them together with other business owners, because I've seen it through the one-stop resource center that we have. We've worked in partnership to really build resources here for the community. This is a virtual platform. We're going out, we're meeting with the Beachwood Library and engaging in some conversations there where we're bringing education back to those chamber members. What are some other things that you can share in that area of connectivity? Well,
since Scott's sitting here on my left-hand side, I think we can use him as a really perfect example. Scott owns his own photography studio. And I know for a fact that he, as we engage with different members of our chamber, that he gets business from that.
I do, absolutely.
He gains customers because he's meeting all these people. He hands out his card. They see his T-shirts,
Yep.
and so he gets to meet a lot of people and gains customers. I can also tell you that one of our chamber members owns a small accounting firm here in the Beachwood area, and I know that for a fact that they have gained customers by engaging with chamber members. Now, this particular accounting firm, the head of it who owns it is also one of our guest speakers. So he gets up to talk about accounting matters as it relates to business, but he also gets to kind of give a little pitch for his business also. So, we love that. We love when people step up or chamber members step up and want to get up and talk about the profession, whether it's accounting or legal or whatever, but they also get to pitch their company a little bit too. So that's kind of important for people.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think that is the key, is that businesses that are engaged, they find opportunities through the chamber for new business opportunities. And that's really the key of the network. So I thank you, David, for coming and joining us today. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate it greatly. And overall, I would encourage everyone to continue to connect with your local partners here within the city. The Beachwood Chamber of Commerce here at the City of Beachwood through the One Stop Resource Center, and even your other resources that are here in the area, like the Small Business Development Center and Tri-C University. So thank you all for your time today, and we look forward to the next series.
Thank you for inviting us.